Jody's Corner, my favorite.
YouTube was good. It's your boy Jody Joe. Welcome to Jody's Corner. Got a special series of new Marvel and DC related videos I'm going to be bringing you guys lately. This is the first one of many to come. Notable films that I think took a heavy precedent and put a heavy influence on their respective universes. I'm going to be talking about superhero films from the DCEU, and I'm going to be talking about films from the Marvel MCU. Today, I'm doing a video on the previous DCEU. And the first film that I'm doing a special video on is Man of Steel. And you guys can see by the title, it's why Man of Steel failed the DCEU. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to break down some things. I'm going to give you guys my deep understanding of why I believe Man of Steel is a failure as a film compared to the DCEU and what it should have been. A lot of you motherfuckers wanted me to talk about this because a lot of you guys didn't see my channel a year and a half, 2 years ago when I first started. So this is to catch people up at what's going on and the movement that I've helped create with this new get down with Wonder Woman and everything that it's doing. And I wanted to share with you guys my breakdown of why I believe that Man of Steel failed the DCEU, just so I could share with you guys my mind state and where I'm at with it, okay? So I ask that you guys don't click away and don't, just check this out and let me know what you guys think and see if what I'm saying starts to make a little bit of sense. Now to start this video, I want to be sure to let you guys know that as Man of Steel, as a standalone film that has nothing to do with Superman, is a fantastic movie. If we're talking about Man of Steel in a bubble, about a story of an alien who lived on a planet somewhere who came to Earth to be super and duper, like some Hancock shit, then this movie is excellent. But that's not what this was supposed to be. That's why we're here. Man of Steel is a Superman movie. Superman is a character that lots of Superman fans love. The pinnacle definition of what a superhero is. That shield, the House of El logo on his chest, is the single most recognizable symbol in human history next to the American Red Cross. The American Red Cross, the Christian cross. I looked that up years ago, and then my man reminded me of it in a live stream one day. I remember I had looked that up. The Superman logo is the greatest, most recognizable symbol in the world when it comes to any superhero. So what Superman was supposed to do was be the foundation. It was the foundation of the DC universe. It came out in 2013. Green Lantern was the real kickoff, but they want to shrub that away from the canon, but we know what's up. The 2011 Green Lantern movie was the real start, but they said Man of Steel is a reboot and we're going to start it again. So Man of Steel, Zack Snyder, he made the Superman film. And no, I want to get to the points where I think are really good. There was a lot of changes in Man of Steel. Yes, there were. But some of the changes that were made to this film or further knowledge of exploration that was in this film, this is a really deep film. And I was on board with some of them. I'm going to talk to you about a specific change and a specific addition to how I believe Zack Snyder did a fantastic job in this movie. And that's probably going to be the only thing I'm talking about. It's the scene in Man of Steel, the first 15 minutes or so, the Krypton scene. Beautiful, epic landscape pictures, CG crisp, the way they did Jor-El, the way they painted the picture of Krypton, how it's in ruin, and how the politics and the government versus the general, the army, the way society is, the way the birthing is, how they treat new births, and they dictate how they'll end up being based on this gene pool. There hasn't been a natural birth, and all that type of awesomeness was epic. And just the sheer beauty of it, man. I love what Zack Snyder did with this. I was riveted when I first seen the first 15 minutes of this film. I put together a clip for you guys, okay? I know that this video that I'm doing right now that you're watching is not going to be monetized because I'm using Warner Brothers copyrighted clips. How am I able to do that? Well, it's because of that right there. I got my patrons. My patrons, they got my back. I have people who donate to my channel through the live streams that have my back, which allows me to make videos like this. So if you guys enjoyed this video, this is basically coming to you from the support of my Patreon team and the support of the people who donate through PayPal, Streamlabs, and YouTube Super Chat every other Wednesday and Friday when I go live. So this is all because of them. This video is going to make no money, and that's fine. I'm okay with it. I'm passionate about this, so this is why I'm talking about it. So I made this clip of the Krypton scene just to give you guys an idea of how beautiful Zack Snyder captured this. Check this clip out.
This council has been disbanded.
On whose authority?
Mine. These lawmakers, with their endless debates, have led Krypton to ruin.
Beautiful. Just beautiful. Now we're going to get ready to see the amazing scenery where Jor-El...
Take him away.
You see that he's his friend. He doesn't want to arrest him. But now you're going to see Jor-El do his thing, man, with his moves and shit. I love this, bro. I love this. This is just beautiful.
Out of the way. I said...
One of the most epic moments of the movie is coming. It's the clip where he stands out onto a ledge and he looks at the horizon and the chaos and the destruction that is Krypton. Now I gotta be honest, I love that, man. I loved everything that they did with that Zack Snyder chose to do with this. Because the origin story of Superman has developed over the years, and there was some gray area in there about how Krypton was a society. Yeah, later on they released some comics with some what-if stories into the Kryptonian lifestyle. Supergirl delved into it with her comic book run. But there's a little bit of wiggle room for creativity, and that's okay amongst us Superman fans. We're down for it because there's no precedence there. You could play there. So Snyder did an amazing job playing in there, and I think that he came out with a really fine product. That's where the praise ends for this movie when it comes to a Superman film. Mind you, I told you, Man of Steel as a film that has nothing to do with Superman is fantastic. I love this movie as a different type of story. But as a Superman film, this movie fails. And I'm going to get into it. And the overall reason why I believe that this Superman character didn't work in Man of Steel is because of the way he was brought up. How Snyder chose to write his character, and Goyer, I believe, how his character was supposed to learn his way. And the number one most powerful impact into Kal-El's Clark Joseph Kent's life was his father, Jonathan Kent. Jonathan Kent instilled everything good in him that was already there and then more. He was the bridge between Kryptonian life and the Earth life. He looked up to his father and he said, this is the shining example of what people could be. And he's learning from him and learning from more people. But he had the foundation ever since he was a little boy. And what Snyder chose to do with this is the reason why Superman is messed up. So I'm going to give you a clip of how bad of a teacher, how terrible of a person Jonathan Kent was. I hated Jonathan Kent in this movie. He is the reason why his son Superman, Henry Cavill, in this film has such a lack of trust in humanity, and why he's such an emo, robotic, emotionless robot zombie in this film and nothing like Superman. It comes from clips like this. Check it out.
I just wanted to help.
I know you did, but we talked about this. Right? Right? We talked about this. You have... Oh, Clark, you have to keep this side of yourself a secret.
What was I supposed to do? Just let him die?
Maybe.
That's just terrible. In what freaking world, what universe exists where Jonathan Kent, Jonathan Paul Kent, would tell his son, maybe you should have let them die? What was I supposed to do? Just let them die? Maybe. This is bigger than me or you. It's that type of ideology of him teaching his son that screwed him up. And that ruined the core essence of his character. It was in that scene, in that moment, with those teachings from Jonathan Kent, that ruined who Superman was for the rest of this film. And this is the design that they chose to go with. A dark, twisted type of realistic-y type of different take on Superman because he's too Boy Scoutish and this is what we got. And I was pissed off. I'm a hardcore Superman fan, and I was incredibly pissed off because a lot of people have problems. He snapped Zod's neck. He was emo. He was emotionless. He was robotic. There was nothing hope. There was no shine. There was no heroism oozing from him. Well, if you guys have all that hate like I do as well, you need to direct it to that scene there, to the character Jonathan Kent. It's Jonathan Kent's character that Snyder funnels all the bullshit into in order to affect the character Superman. Let me give you guys another example of what Jonathan Kent meant to Superman, to Clark in this film, but it was done the wrong way. What I mean is the second most important thing in this entire get down is the way that Jonathan Kent died in Man of Steel. He sat back and let his son watch him die. You're Superman, but I've taught you, child, to not show your powers no matter what, even if it means saving your own father's life. And that is some utter bullshit. I want you guys to check this clip out, and then I'm going to give you the exact genius of why the original way that he died in the 1978 Superman movie from Richard Donner was genius and should never have been touched. Here is the Man of Steel clip of how Jonathan Kent lost his life. Now watch your father disappear in this wind. I didn't buy that scene, not a single freaking bit when I saw the movie. It upset me deeply. There is no goddamn way that Superman would have Kal-El would have let his father die before his eyes. Something that was actually his choice. That's the thing. It was Superman's choice in this scene to save his father or not. Because his father said, no, I don't want you to show your powers. Let me die for this. You're going to sacrifice your life to keep my secret? Miss me. This is trash. Now let me show you an exact clip from the 1978 Superman of exactly how Jonathan Kent dies and why he dies that way. First of all, in this beginning of this clip, he's going to show you, this film will show you exactly the type of person that Jonathan Kent is, guiding his son the right way, always having the answers for him. And then you're going to understand and you're going to see how he died. And I'm going to talk back to you about why this clip is so important and why it was genius from Richard Donner.
One thing I do know, son, and that is you are here for a reason. But I do know one thing. It's not to score touchdowns. Huh?
Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
Look at all that love.
Oh, no.
That scene is truly sad even to this day watching it. What's beautiful about this scene is with all of his might, with all of his power, his ability, it's not about your power and ability. Sometimes you just can't control things. It's not your choice. You don't have the ability to save everyone, not even your own father. He died of a heart attack, natural causes that couldn't be predicted. This young man, Clark Kent, lost his father, and that teaches him a lesson. Like, even though you do as much as you can do, you can't do everything. You're not God. That's a really profound moment of showing humility and understanding of why he strives to be better. But he still understands that he can't do everything. And this is proof, a slap in the face. He died of a heart attack, something that couldn't be prevented. In Man of Steel, he let his father die from a tornado. Miss me. In this film, he couldn't save his dad even if he wanted to. That's the genius of it. Something, even though with all your might and your strength and your abilities, you can't stop this. We are human, and yeah, people just die. We got bad hearts, bad blood, cancer, AIDS, all this shit going on. We are good people, we wish to be, and that he sent you here to help us and all that, but you can't do everything. That's the genius of it. That's why that meant so much in Superman. But then you put this shit in Man of Steel, and it just wrecks everything. So then Henry Cavill grows up hiding away, running away from who he is, not even knowing who he is, afraid to show his power, afraid to help people. He helps them on the sly, where you can just get a little save in real quick, like people on the oil rig and whatnot. But overall, it's just a problem. It's a problem that he carried out throughout the rest of the film, and that's exactly why he was an emo robot zombie, unsure of himself. He was almost willing to let Zod just take over the planet. He was in the church with the pastor, and he says, the pastor said, "Do you trust this Zod?" He said, "I don't think he could be trusted, but I'm not so sure the people of Earth could be trusted either." I mean, what is that? So we clearly see that Superman was broken in Man of Steel. And what broke him? The very film that was supposed to build the foundation of his character up. And that came through Jonathan Kent. Everything around Jonathan Kent. And I believe this was a misstep for the character Superman. And this film just had a huge disconnect. Because it was a trickle effect. Superman's foundation wasn't there. So since his foundation isn't there, he can't build upon anything. He's on mushy, uneven ground. Uneven foundation. Muddy. There's no solid cement there. And that's the problem. You didn't put cement there. You don't mess around with the origin, man. The origin that we all know and love. You don't mess around with certain things like that. And that's exactly why Man of Steel was so divisive amongst fans. Me as a Superman fan, I hate Man of Steel. He's nothing like Superman to me. But me as a movie fan, I love Man of Steel because it's a great piece of filmmaking. You know, so I'm in the middle. But as a Superman fan, I see, as far as the DCEU, that's what makes this movie fail. Because it's a DCEU movie. This is supposed to set up other movies. It was supposed to set up Man of Steel 2. There's a whole big thing, I'll get into that maybe in the next video, where Man of Steel 2 was supposed to be BVS, but they changed it up and did all kind of crap. That's why we had BVS. But this is the reason why Man of Steel, it still made a nice amount of money. I believe it made $668 million. That's a pretty good start to the beginning of any universe, if you ask me. But the problem here wasn't the money. It was the perception of the way that we viewed the film. What was the general consensus of Man of Steel amongst fans? I don't know. Snap Zod's neck that's not Superman. He didn't really care for the people, because we know that in 2006 we had Brendan Ruth. Check him out. This is 2006. Yeah, a lot of people say he's cheesy, but that is Superman right there. Yeah, the suit, the colors and all, the suit, the small ass. I'm not talking about how he looks per se. Some people think he look kind of gay or whatever. I don't give a freak. But at the end of the day, that is Superman. The character intact. Now I understand this is a returns. This is him after Superman 1 and 2, I believe 3 and 4. This is him coming back after a 7-year hiatus. But this is the type of character that Man of Steel should have been. Not tit for tat. It's the core values. You look at him fly through the city. Not once did Henry Cavill do that. Because the people didn't love him. He didn't show himself to the people. They didn't embrace him. Hovering in outer space, listening for problems. Listening to the world to go save people. That's when he flew to the bank and stopped the bullet with his eye. Slow motion bullets. Randomly saving people all across the world. What was that, Germany or something? We see Clark Kent do the classic change out of the Daily Planet, shooting out of the thing, shooting out of the planet, out of there. We seen him actually save the city from little disasters like this, little small things like this that make Superman Superman. Heat vision used to save lives. This shit was epic when I saw the movie in 2006. Going through the hot tunnels, blowing that shit back in Superman fashion, mind you. Yeah, there was no villain in this movie, and it was kind of corny. But what this movie got right was these heroic feats. The character, the ideals, the mind state. You can't argue that. That's 2006, by the way. Looked pretty darn good for 06. But you can't argue that. Yeah. Oh yeah, if it was whack, he's a weenie. I'll take all that. I'm not saying this is a fantastic movie by no stretch. I'm talking about the character. Like, no one who watched Superman Returns, many people who watched Superman Returns said the movie was whatever or it was bad. No one who watched Superman Returns saw that movie and said that wasn't Superman. You see what I'm saying? They say that about Man of Steel. And as a Superman fan, hurts my feelings, man. I want people to love this character. I want people to understand and see him for how I see him and how you guys probably see him. A lot of people say he's corny, he's whack in this. Oh, they have no idea. So, this is exactly why Man of Steel failed the DCEU, because the perception of the DC universe after seeing Man of Steel wasn't good. He was the beacon of the Justice League. We knew that Man of Steel is supposed to build up to Justice League, and they're not embracing Superman as a Superman. They're not really liking him. And then you came out with BVS, which is going to be a separate video, by the way. So basically, I hope you guys enjoyed the clips and what was going on through my head, and hopefully you guys understood some of the ideas, and you guys are, bounce back with me in the comment section. Let it on down there and let me know what you guys think. But this is my take on exactly why I believe that Man of Steel was a fail for the DCEU. A good film as a film, but as a Superman movie, just failed. And we saw what happened to the DCEU to the point where Wonder Woman had to come out and do her thing. So that's the end of this video. I want to let you guys know that once again, Patreon donations from people on my channel is the reason why these type of videos come to you. So big ups to them. Thank you to them who all donate to my channel and my patrons. I'm going to be doing a series of this. So look, I'm going to do some DC movies. I'm going to do some MCU movies. I'm going to talk positively and negatively about the DC and the Marvel movies. This is going to be a new series on my channel. There's other movies that I'm going to tackle, and I can't wait to get to them. So put your recommendations down below, but there's already movies I have in my head that I absolutely need to talk about. So that's where we're at with it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more of that real content. I'm Jody Joe, and I'm out this thing, man. Deuces.